Hello everybody, this is the current trade log from Jamie on this week, and we can see, well, he has made a 12-hour week basically in Forex. We don't see any result here in futures. So Jamie first attended the Forex workshop and then later the futures workshop. So in his trading, Jamie more focuses on Forex, right? I mean, it really depends on the student, and maybe it depends as well what you attended first. Like Ray and Pan are more focused on futures. Now let's see what Jamie has to say here and what his trades did. So he writes here in his comment that this was a wash up at transitional week, and this is what I've pinpointed in the top down, the weekly top down analysis as well, right? That we might experience a quiet week. A transitional week, that's a nice description actually. So Jamie writes here, markets needed a transitional week, maybe more, to digest the few previous big weeks. Right, that's true, right? So 1 week was this this week with a very strong market responsiveness, where a good number of you have traded pyramids and made big multiples. Then the week after that, because we had become overextended from the higher on the higher time frames from the moving averages, was a snapback week, right? A week that went into the other direction, and we even saw that it overshoot, right, the snapback. Now this week was a transitional week, so yeah, markets basically went sideways, more or less, taking a break and a pause. So he got a few little trades, etc. Okay, and he's in a long platinum trade. So let's have a look now what he did. Well, Jamie likes trades after work, right, in the afternoon, and well, he likes to trade the very short time frames, like the 1 minute, but he trades as well the bigger ones. So he's quite flexible. But as he's limited to 1.5, 1 hour, 2 hours trading per day maximum, well, some of those opportunities will come up on the minute chart for him, right? So that's an Aussie US S2 short on the 1 minute, well, with a nice R result. Well, I can clearly see it's an S2. That's the 1 minute. And on the 1 minute, the patterns are not that nicely pronounced, right? We have got more market noise, and we can even see some gaps here. Well, that's typical on the minute, and the flat line as well cannot be that precise because we have market noise. But that's a 1 minute S2 pattern. I clearly see it. I don't clearly see here TC1. It seems to be in an early downtrend. So what comes to my eye here is that this basically it's a 200 spike trade. So we might spike the 200, and here's enough room to go to this magnet, right, towards this magnet. Like overall, we're in an uptrend. So yeah, follow through to the downside is limited, but we have some way to go. We're well overextended, right? From the 8, we're overextended. So that's kind of, that has a component of a snapback to moving averages. Well, this worked nicely. Well, in hindsight, I would just say, well, that's a spike through of the 200 spike through trade with some potential to go lower, which is limited by the 21 resistance, right? So we have two forces here. Now here we've got a snapback to 8, and this might actually be it, right? Because that's already finding some resistance here, and Jamie trade his stop above the last lower high, and that's where he got stopped out, and that was a really nice trade. Now we've got another 1 minute long this time as too long. I don't see it. The bars are a little small, so it's for me not always easy to understand what's going on. I cannot see here what's going on. Never mind. S3 60 minute, so it's a bad trade, he says. So let's have a look at that. 60 minutes, so that's down here, right? So that doesn't look, well, that looks pretty good. That's a strong and a smooth downtrend. We've got a standard pullback. We have a couple of, well, we've got an STB consolidation, right? And it's a very tight stop. Now let's have a look. Well, that looks good. We've just run this low. Well, this scares me, right? And this is basically, well, sometimes trading S3 Well, you want to look at 2 time frames higher. That's TC2 basically. Well, this already gives you an indication, oh, we might have actually gone quite a bit. This was a stop run move and it has made its move, right? And here, well, that's a confirmation that the move might be over. That looks, well, that's in a sideways range, right? And we're testing very heavy resistance down here, and it's way overextended. That was basically a quick stop out, right? Now another 1 minute, S1 long. 1 minute, yeah, I can clearly see it's an S1 immediately, right? Well, I know that the quality is typically not that good on a 1 minute, right? Because there's a lot of market noise, but it's a 1 minute. We have many touches, relatively precise. Well, we have some white space here, right? So I want to see some positives now coming in on these higher time frames. So we're in an early uptrend with the gold basically. That's the magnet, right? And this is a big number. So we basically have a cluster level. Price is drawn towards both, right? The 200 and the big number. Whenever there's a stop run level, both are stop run levels. Well, price is drawn towards those levels. And here we've got the 200, right? Can be drawn. So it's basically a cluster, and it's at the big number as well. So it's basically a cluster level of magnet. So the more clustered the magnets become, well, the stronger it is, obviously. Now this is basically, well, we're in an early uptrend. We've got a zigzag, but overall it's basically sideways, right? But sideways we're on the lower end of the range with the potential to go a little bit higher. So it's basically a range play, right? We're on the bottom and we could easily go to the middle of the range. So it's a range play with a very early uptrend. It's not necessarily, I think, a trade that is a no-brainer, right? Because here it's completely sideways, price is at a 200, this is sideways, etc. So I would say that Jamie had a strong intuitive input that this is going to make its move, because the other timeframes tell me, well, that it's quite uncertain what's going to happen. It could go in any direction. So this worked nicely. Let's see. Yeah, we got that, right? So price is drawn here towards the cluster level, 200, big number, and the 200 on this time frame. And very nice. Well, here it's done its stop run move, right? We've got a pullback to 21, and then it just continues the swings higher with pulling back to 21, and this is it. So now here we've got an exhaustion move, right? That touches the 200, and that was the reason for Jamie to take it and run. What was the well, 4.8? That's quite nice, right? It's basically your monthly R goal. S2 short 15. S2 short 15. I cannot see that clearly. It's too small, the bars for me, but it looks like an S2 taken on with a good amount of discretion as well. Well, here it's going its way through, right? Well, it basically it's shying away. These are stop run levels. It's shying away from these two levels, right? It's getting closer and closer, and that's the stop run. That's a stop run. Okay, well, that's it. Nice couple of trades for this transitional week. Some of you might not have had many weeks, which is fine too. But even in a quiet week, well, you can make. Jamie did 12 hours. So very good. Thanks.